Happy Aloha Friday, everyone. I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your Friday and upcoming weekend. The stock market sure did go out partying like it's 1999, as once again, stock market indexes rallied today. The good news is that for the bulls is that we closed at the high of the day on the Nasdaq. As you can see, we were up 0.61%. On the Russell 2000, we closed up 0.32%. Once again, hitting new all-time highs. The S&P 500 hitting new all-time highs, up 0.31%, also closing at the high of the day. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 0.02% today, closing above where it opened, which was good because the Dow Jones is the laggard of the day. And you can see via the relative strength line, since April, the Dow Jones has been lagging, and especially on the short term, the relative strength line below has been lagging. But you can see also at the MACD line, that's rocketing higher and going back through the other indexes. You can see that's the case with the Russell 2000. Upward move, the NASDAQ, you can see the MACD, moving average convergence divergence lines down there. And you can see even in the New York Stock Exchange, we have an overall very powerful move in this market. But what should be taken notice of is the relative strength line of the Russell 2000 and of the NASDAQ on this most recent turn up. It's excellent to see them leading. The one problem is, look at that yellow line in the middle by volume, and look at the volume as we make this V-shaped move higher. I do believe now that the market has been up 12 of the past 13 days on the NASDAQ. That's absolutely insane. And as you can see, once again, we are extremely extended from the 200-day moving averages. If you're not long now and you decide to go all in here, it might work out, but I tell you what, you're just really asking for a major hurt, as to watch us rally on below average volume for so long. While it's been the norm, and it'll probably, like it has been, continue to work, especially in a QE, ZIRP, POMO, Federal Reserve is in control environment, it still opens up the chance for a pretty severe one-day, couple-day correction that could really hurt if you decide to go all in here. So once again, be careful. But the biggest news is that the strength is very apparent out there. It's everywhere. You can see ARM-H off the lows. This is a high-quality CanSlim stock making its ways off the lows, looking wonderful. We had the big boys like Microsoft breaking out. Amazon, keeps hitting new highs. Same with Priceline. We got the new innovative stocks like Tesla, low volume, of course, breakouts to new highs. SPWR, low volume breakouts to new highs. We got the IPOs working. QIWI saw GoGo moving today. So, you have that working. And then, of course, you got Netflix. You got another big stock, MKL, even though it's thin. It's a $500 stock breaking out. Then you got BDX, Becton Dickinson, another $100 stock breaking out on subpar volume. You got McDonald's making a move on below average volume. You had Zillow continues to keep on making a move on below average volume. So unless you're a price only guy that focuses on high price stocks, you're probably doing good. If not, you're probably a little confused here, and that's why you have to open up your mind about different methodologies. Whenever one methodology that's been rocking it forever isn't rocking anymore, you got to switch around. ALXN was brought up in the chat room by me a couple of days ago, suggested buying calls on it. Guess who did not buy calls on it? I did not. However, if you did, the stock's up 12%. The calls are up 60%. So congratulations to anybody in the chat room that did that. I don't think anybody did, but once again, it shows the power. And on that note, we have a chat room subscriber that gave out ALNY at the beginning of July calls. Here you see it's up 14% today. Those calls that were mentioned in late June that he was advising purchasing are now up over 200%. So very interesting moves in this market as we go about. But still, going back to ALXN, biotech is killing it. You can see via the IBB index. Is it XIB one? No, that's going to be, no, it's not going to be XHB either. That's home builders. BIB is one also to go with the IBB. I'm forgetting about the XBI. Yeah, that's it. XBI, got it. Okay, great job, memory. And you can see how that's hitting a new high. But let's look at some other ones. REGN, you can take this gap up above the 50-day moving average. Celgene is basing out from its viable gap up. ALXN, I'm looking for a handle. you can buy it here if you really think it's going to go. Biogen produced a pocket pivot point buy signal off the 50-day moving average. That one can be found. KYTH, a more speculative stock, is uptrending. OSUR, more speculative medical stock, not biotech, but I'm starting to notice all these medical related stocks, but the biotechs are the ones you really want to focus on. But OSUR retaking the 50-day moving average, getting some huge accumulation off the lows. BDX, I've already mentioned, bouncing off the 50-day moving average. You can see Q Core continues to uptrend. BMRN produce a pocket pivot point signal off the 50-day moving average. That one's building a right side of a base. And then UTHR, United Therapeutics, I noticed it made another pocket pivot point buy signal, second day in a row. So medical stocks are rocking. So that's definitely where I would continue to focus, is on that side of the industry group, especially with BIIB, Celgene, even PCYC is going to be thrown into that group, but this one is my favorite stock in the entire industry group overall. On that note, there is some weakness out there. Soda, that's not uptrending. Oracle isn't uptrending, and UPS is uptrending, but with all that, there's still just too many stocks going up to care. And to show you how much stocks want to go up, my short position in ASTM was forcibly bought in. There are evidently no more shares to be sold, so they came looking for shares and they found my shares, and it wasn't a whole lot, man. I gotta admit, I only had 90 shares. But short position isn't really where it's at. Most of them haven't worked or worked that well at all, with most failing, but ASTM was a big worker still. They came for my shares today and they got them, so I'm no longer short ASTM, which means if you happen to be short and for some odd reason whatever brokerage firm you were using didn't buy your shares in today, I don't know if it went across the board or what, I just know what happened to mine. You're going to have to track the stock on your own. The final cover would be a close above the 200-day moving average. Huge volume close above the 50-day moving average would also be a full cover, but that stock is now up to anyone that is still short that stock. For tonight, new long position was signaled in TravelCenters America. As I mentioned yesterday, pocket pivot point buy signal was given in TA. I like this stock a lot because it was recently added back in March to the AAII, American Association of Individual Investors shadow stock portfolio, which has an excellent long-term track record. Another stock that was recently added that I'm personally watching for a buy signal is SALM. TA gave a half-ass buy signal the day before. I didn't like it because the 1098 close wasn't above the 1106 intraday high on 7-1. Well, following the pocket pivot point buy signal, its second one in 4 sessions, I got a convincing close above the 50-day moving average today with volume, BOP, relative strength all jumping. MACD TSV is trending correctly, so I will initiate a position here. 2% risk account, 2% non-risk account. Also going to add to RVLT. This is an excellent move off the 50-day moving average. However, unfortunately, with the volume surges the past 2 days, they haven't been gigantic or huge. And also going with it, the relative strength line isn't hitting a new high ahead of price. And BOP, as you can see, even though it has moved to a higher BOP level over the past 2 days. Still, you would like to have seen it moved higher yesterday, and then with today's move off the 50-day moving average, have a big nice surge in BOP. However, this long-term chart is very bullish, and it looks like it wants to break out higher. I will remind everybody, though, on an arithmetic basis, it is sloppy, which means it's a risky stock to play. However, on a logarithmic basis, it's nice and tight, and I do, in fact, like that price action a lot. If it had more BOP behind it and we had more huge movers, I'd want to buy more of it. Instead, it's just going to be a 2% position in the risk account. And once again, just like the initial buy signal back in March, 0% in the non-risk account. But RVLT, very nice move. And also going to add to VVTV. I was hoping to get VVTV to start to base out, after it pulled back here. I was hoping, okay, well, since it's still a max stream BOP, that it would just base out sideways for about 5 to 10 days minimum. Well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, and now I'm getting a breakout finally on heavy volume. The problem is I wanted it to be more of a flattish base sideways, and as you can see here, going up close on the Zoom 5, You can see how it's wedging and trending slightly up. I would like to be connecting, let's say, I would like to connect these lows here in a downward fashion. But since I'm connecting these lows here in an upward fashion, that's a wedge. So it's breaking out today in a wedging formation. So the good news is after that day, I was able to add some back here. I should have added more back on the 10th, which was 2 days ago, before getting long here. But a breakout is a breakout to new highs. That's what I wanted. I got it on strong volume. And the stock has big earnings and sales growth in the most recent quarter, and a very strong expected upcoming 5 to 6 quarters of earnings and sales growth is expected. So it makes sense to go ahead and buy it here since we are in an uptrending tape. But still, once again, I would have liked to have seen this thing gone sideways more than breakout. 10 to 15 days is preferred because that's 2 to 3 weeks, and 2 to 3 weeks is normally what you want to see for a flat, tight flag pattern base minimum, or 2 week, 3 week tight base minimum. So the fact that it is only a little over a week is a little bit disconcerting, but strong stock, can't fight that. Anyway, that's all I have to give this weekend. Have a wonderful rest of your weekend, everybody. Aloha.